Hey guys, today we're going to answer some questions. We're going to do an update on the EV tax credit. We're also going to talk about if springs create an uncomfortable ride. Also, why it's so hard to find aftermarket parts right now in the industry. And if you modify your car, are you basically destroying the value retention of your vehicle? So, let's run that intro. Hey guys, and welcome back to another Talking Mods. So today we get to do a Q&A. We haven't done one of these in a while. And if you guys are interested in the Q&A, we will post it up at times on our Mod Bargains Instagram. Mod Bargains is the channel. This is our website where we sell all our parts. We have an Instagram channel where you can follow different builds that we do through our Mod Auto side. But I will be looking down because we have some questions from you guys, and they're really, really good. And they're very, very relevant. So on the first one we're going to have, let's see. Hi Ron, love the channel. I want to put my order in on, first of all, thank you. Appreciate that. I want to put my order on the Rivian. If I order today, will I get the EV credit? And when is this going to pass?
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the Q&A, but that question needs an update. So when we filmed it, that same night, that same end of day, the bill actually got passed. So the infrastructure bill, the social spending bill, whatever we want to call it, went through. There were concessions made. It dropped down to like a $1.75 trillion bill and has now become the Build Back Better Act. So say that 3 times fast if you want to, but that's the new act. It looks like everything is going right through. The only caveat is basically it's going to have to get through the budget planning committee. Once they review it, they will basically let it through. I think that as far as this one's gone, it's gone really far. If you remember in the previous video, I talked about the qualifications needed, and that's changed a bit. So on the individual, which was $400,000, it's dropped down to $250,000 if you have a joint household, which was $800,000 before. Now it is $500,000 for qualification. And the sedans have stayed the same at $55,000. But one thing that's pretty interesting is the credit. Well, this is not a credit again. This is a discount. This is an automatic discount, so it's not an EV tax credit. You get it at the time of purchase when you're making your purchase. The SUVs and the trucks have gone up actually. So the qualifications for it is now at $80,000, which basically allows the Rivian to qualify, guys. So I know that a lot of the Rivians were right at $79,000 and you guys are $1,000 short. So if you were planning on getting one, I suggest putting in your order, either whatever it might be, whether it's a Tesla, the Rivian, Ford F-150 Lightning, because those cars you're not going to be getting anyway till next year. And the bill is written so that when next year happens, 2022, you would qualify for this incentive. Anyway, guys, sorry to interrupt. I'll let you guys go back to the normal Q&A questions, and thanks. All right, so I want to get rid of the wheel gap on my Tesla Model 3, but I'm afraid if I get springs that my vehicle will become too stiff. Are there other alternatives? Interesting. It's a very interesting question, and it's a thought process that happens a lot. And it's funny enough, we just did a Tesla Model 3 on a MSS spring, and I'll give you some feedback there. The thought process by a lot of people is if I put on springs on my vehicle, then therefore the car will become stiffer. Now, I get it. You want to get rid of the wheel gap. The number one reason that we all buy springs is we want to get rid of that wheel gap, but we also know that we're probably sacrificing some of the ride. That's not necessarily true. In the past and in the industry, I've seen this happen a lot, is when people buy springs, yes, it becomes a lot stiffer. You've lowered it, but the shocks are valved and designed for the existing stock springs. New companies have realized this. Some companies have realized this. Some companies that are really good at this is like Eibach. A lot of the Eibach springs are designed for valving within the existing shocks. New companies like MSS are doing dyno runs and dyno tests. It's a shock dyno. It's not a dyno like that you run on your car. It's a shock dyno, and they're designing and engineering it for the right load ratings for the valving of the stock shocks. And what's happening is it's actually becoming a more comfortable ride. My suggestion is to actually do the due diligence, ask the question, is it actually being engineered? Specifically on your car, I can tell you that the MSS is engineered specifically. Actually, Tesla's own engineer is running the MSS springs on his own vehicle in Germany. So that's just a little bit of information. All right. Hi, Ron. I've called now 9 shops looking for a lift kit for my truck. Do you have any? And why is it so hard to find this kit in stock? He wrote down the kit and all that. This is a great question. We've been months now. I kind of talked about how prices were going up, and we've seen this happen a lot now with the pandemic. Since the pandemic has happened, there has been a major shortage of inventory. Out here on the West Coast side in Long Beach Port, if you were to drive by or even just fly over, you'll see a ton of container ships. I mean, I remember the last article that I read was 78 ships in the harbor, container ships. Just imagine how many containers are on all those ships. But on the East Coast side, we're seeing the same thing. We're actually seeing also problems with trucks coming in and delivering it. They're trying to run multiple shifts. There's unions, there's all kinds of problems, and there's less people working. For some reason, there's less people that want to work during this time. So less products are coming in. Demand went up. Inventory hasn't been able to get through the ports. Truck drivers are not available. Material costs have gone up, putting companies in a frenzy. Everything has just gone haywire across the board. So I've talked to several manufacturers. They're not following their normal production schedule, so it's caused even longer delays. And my honest advice is, and this is going to be a little bit of a shocker, I'm kind of revealing some of this information now. Some companies work direct. Companies like us work direct with a lot of the manufacturers. But a lot of the smaller shops, and I know the majority of them are going to be smaller shops, and I'm not bashing, it's fine. There's a lot of smaller companies out there, and what they all do is they purchase almost all from the same distributor. And they're all putting in their orders, and they're all getting the promise date around the same time. Even us, when we order direct from the manufacturer, sometimes we'll get it before, but the time frame from the production is going to be around the same time. So when you're calling in, you're just having the same inquiry happen over and over with the same, where they're checking their distribution. Now, if they're a larger company like ourselves where we carry inventory, then it makes sense to ask around. So check out the company who you're asking around, because you might get lucky. My suggestion is go with the company you like, go with the company if they do stock it, or go with someone who can set up a pre-order. Oftentimes, the inventory will completely sell out. So that's more of a business practice kind of situation, but we have seen multiple containers of products come into us and they're already pre-sold, especially like our bumpers and so forth. They are pre-sold. Sometimes now becoming closer to not only one container full in advance, but sometimes even 2 containers worth. All right, let's jump into the last question. Hi, Ron. I appreciate what you do on the channel. Keep it up. Thank you. We appreciate that a lot. My concern is that if I modify my vehicle, I will lose value on my car when it comes time to sell it, if it's been modified. What are your thoughts on the value of the vehicle retention? This is a great question. In terms of aftermarket parts, historically, you do not get value out of having aftermarket parts on your car. What you will get is what the Kelley Blue Book, or what the market value. Market value, especially today, market value is important, because I'm not even sure if Kelley Blue Book is up to date. But market value for your vehicle, but they won't be able to factor in the aftermarket parts. Now, if you've done something pretty wild and out there, then you're looking for a special customer. And sometimes you can increase value. I've seen the ability to increase value. But if there is a true market for it, again, example would be like the RWB Porsches. RWB Porsches command a lot more value if they've got the body kit and the modifications of going wide body. It might not be to your style, right? But there is a market demand of enthusiasts who want it. So you got to be careful there. But the majority of aftermarket parts can be taken off. You don't need to worry about that, and you can sell them off on your own, which is what I recommend. So I think you should do what you want to do. This is your vehicle. You should enjoy it. I think you should do it at the beginning of its life of owning it, because we all know that we all go through multiple vehicles. So doing it at the end of the life might prolong how long you have that car, but why not enjoy it to its max at the beginning? And then, and my other recommendation is go with quality parts. Other enthusiasts, people who are in this industry want quality parts. Quality parts are going to be a lot easier for you to sell and help you retain the money that you spent on it, where I think you will come out pretty well at the end of it. Anyway, guys, we don't have a whole lot more time left. Please put in your comments below if you have any other questions. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It really helps. I know I ask for this all the time, but it really does help, and I appreciate when you guys do. And I will see you on the next Talking Mods.